you for listening to Fem Talk 89 FM. We are on air in Labasa, and it's time for another episode of this season of Radio with Pictures on My TV. Thanks to the support of UNDP's CAFE program, supported by the European Union, DFEDS, and the International Women's Development Agency, as well as Oxfam.
Thank you, Kini. We just can't advance our economies or societies by leaving half of the population behind. However, obstacles do remain to women's participation, women of all diversities, young women in particular, the elderly as well as persons with disabilities, despite the commitments to gender equality and women's human rights in our country. There are also other obstacles like not having water or electricity, poor roads and bridges that impede women's participation in decision-making processes, particularly at the local or rural community level. Some of the obstacles are that despite these gender equality commitments, women and young women are not being invited to the table to be part of decisions being made when it comes to development priorities. So we've got women at the table here with Radio with Pictures at our Labasa Community Media Center, where prior to producing this episode of Radio with Pictures, we had a consultation with about 50 women from across Madawarta, Mboa, Vakondrove and Rambi. They represent around 600 women from their collective membership, and they've been talking about decisions that need to be made and development priorities that they would like to see addressed within the next 5 years. We've also had a chance to do a quick survey on what women are earning. What does it mean for women when we talk about women's economic security? It's certainly not earning $50 a week, which is the case of 20 of the women we surveyed. Only 6 of the women surveyed are earning $50 to $100 a week. Only 3 women are earning more than $100 a week. The majority, of course, would like to earn at least $100 a week. But what does that mean in terms of the time that they're working, and where they're working, and how much they're earning an hour? We're going to discuss economic security. We're going to discuss women's human security with a few of the women here at the table. We have Caroline Tongamalo. Caroline is a young women producer broadcaster on Fem Talk 89 FM in Labasa. We have Mereseni Mara. Mereseni is the treasurer, so you know all about budgets. She's the treasurer of the Nassau Level Women's Club in Savu-Savu. We have Reapi Kasaniwale. We have Losena Naivolo of the Navakuru Women's Club in Vakondrove. We have Reapi Kasaniwale. Reapi is a member of the Balebasonga Mandali Club. And we have Sarita Lal from the Nalemba Multiracial Women's Group, and Mele Rokotuimbao from the Rarani Meke Women's Club in Galore. And I know one of your issues is about access to water, so we're going to come back to talk to you about that. Caroline, you produce radio programs, you broadcast the radio programs on Fem Talk 89 FM here in Labasa, and you hear about a lot of what women are doing and how women are leading in the communities. What are the women's stories that really make you think about the situation of women in our community?
Thank you, Sharon. I've been listening to the radio when I'm doing broadcasting. I've learned more about the women, what they are facing in their community. Like we have been discussing in the last 4 days, and it really touches me a lot because they are facing, some women facing the same issue too, like water and road. So we need the government to look after it.
What about young women? You're about to be a young mum. What are the needs of young women in the community?
And young women need to come forward need to come for this workshop, so that young women can know what our older women are doing and what we are talking about in that issues, so that young women can follow up.
So do you mean that they also know that it's not just their issue, but it's all the women's issues? Is that what we need to be discussing or creating greater awareness about that?
Yeah.
The collective, huh?
The collective of all the women's.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. Merisi, you're a treasurer for your women's club, and you're working all the way in Sabu Sabu. Kara, just pass on the mic. How easy is it for you to organize, and what are some of the things you're trying to do as a leader for your community?
Thank you, Sharon. As a leader in our community, it is really hard, like financially. Most of the women in our community does not earn a lot.
When you say earn a lot, you heard me earlier speak about, are they earning $50 a week or less than that, or 50 to 100?
Yes, they earn less than $50 a week, and mostly in treasure in our community. Like we normally contribute as 50 cents in a member of a daily
when
weekly,
you have your club meetings.
Yes, club meeting as 50 cents a member, so that we can understand how this kind of situation they are facing through. They are not working, like young mothers and young uneducated girl. They are not really well, they're not working just because of the kind of income, or they are not trained.
So they don't have the training, so they can't get a job.
Yes.
And are you trying to say that even to contribute 50 cents a week to your club is hard for some of these women?
It is really hard for some of the women, because on some of the mothers, like they have their daughter with like their young mothers. Like they're not working, only the mothers are working. Like they don't have a father, so the mother has to contribute. But normally the mothers, they work and they earn less, like not more than $50.
What is the work that they're doing, Merisi, that where they're trying to make a living? What is the kind of work that some of these mums are doing?
Actually, Sharon, they normally sell roti parcel to the other workplace near us, but sometimes they come back with the leftovers, so they just earn $10 a day. That is really not enough for a living. Like they can just buy flour and other stuff, but they have nothing else in the family to earn. Thank you.
They don't have access to land to do any planting?
Actually, Sharon, we don't have any access to land. Like last month, we had people from Suva. They came to visit us just because of the land issue. We don't have much land at our community. They're fighting for the land. That's why the young youth members, they can't do their projects because there are limited land in our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Merisi, for sharing some of those challenges with us. Lasena, you've joined us from the Navakuru Women's Club in Dakandrove. How are you organizing in the club? What are you finding as you meet as women? What are the priorities for women, for young women like yourself? Are they similar to what Kara and Merisi were just raising?
Thank you, Sharon. I think in my young women's club, I'm too young in our club, so I need more discussion, need more meeting for those who are elder than me, so that I can get
So it's really about supporting and giving information, having more than meeting and learning together. That when we have clubs, it's not just do an activity, but sometimes, and that's what we're hearing in some of the other previous episodes of Radio with Pictures, that the women are saying we need to learn as well. Yeah. What would you like to learn? if somebody said, okay, what would be an education program you'd like for the Navakuru Women's Club? What's one education program you would like? What kind of information would you like to take back to your club, to have there for your club?
I like to tell them that we have to learn more about a women's club, like for weaving or something else like that.
Okay, thanks, Lasena. Coming to you, Reape. You live in Balebasonga. I mean, it's an informal settlement. Would that be right? Tell us about your community and the club that you belong to.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm a member of Balebasonga, Mandali. Mandali.
Yes, it's multiracial then. Yeah, okay.
But small of us that live in region. So plenty of us that Indo. So it's hard to, when we attend the day we should attend our meeting, that some of us attend and some they not attend the meeting. So the things that we need to meet a lot and to talk about, so we can change our plan to join the meeting or to start our plan to make our future.
What are some of the issues, Reape, that you would like to discuss in your Mandali meeting? What's really important for the women and the community right now?
The important thing that we need more dialogue, meeting, and to discuss a lot.
Is that to build understanding amongst the community and to prevent problems and conflicts? What would the dialogue help with?
So that because our leader, that she is always, sometimes she attend and sometimes
she's not there. So what makes it hard for women to participate? Are they busy working at home? Are they tired? What's going on?
In our club, that plenty of us that only stay home, but we not stay nearby.
So it's hard to organize everyone. Yeah. Does everyone have access to a telephone? I mean, sometimes we think it's very easy to just pick up the phone or text somebody or send an email, but if you live far away from each other, it's not easy to bring people together. Is that a problem that you're facing?
So that when our phone will have money, then
yes, when if you got credit that you can make the call. Otherwise, no credit. Huh? Okay, thanks, Rep. Thank you, Repa. Sarita, Nalemba Multiracial Women's Club. You all live fairly close to each other, so communication is not that hard. But what do you enjoy about your club? You've been working on the poultry project. Tell us about how women are leading in Nalemba.
Thank you, Sharon. As we are working together, because we are active members, but in my area I can say, because there I am alone, because I am far from the poultry farm. I have to walk.
How far do you have to walk?
About half an hour, sometimes 1 hour, because when there is rain time and the road is not good.
So you have to walk sometimes half an hour, 1 hour just to get to the club area.
Because one creek is there when it's a flood, so I have to go long. Otherwise, I have to cross the creek. So I have to do my homework because main thing this I'm facing there is power. I don't know if he power there, so I can't do my work quickly.
Right.
Just that problem that we are facing. When after that, then we have to do our work. Then sometimes they call us 10 o'clock will be our meeting, so we have to come quickly. So I have to walk far from my house.
Yes. And what else do you do? Are you involved in farming? What else do you do? Or is your husband a cane cutter? How is your family earning a living aside from the poultry project?
Thank you. I'm staying home because we have only a house block, no land, and my husband is cutting the sugarcane. Only cutting time season is cutting. After that, we have no job to do. Sometimes week, 1 day, 2 days, we have to. He went for the fishing. Sometimes he get it, catch the crab. Sometimes nothing. Like this.
It's cane cutting season now as we meet here for the Radio with Pictures program. How many weeks of work will your husband have as a cane cutter, as a labourer?
2 weeks. After 2 weeks, he will have cane payment. 2 weeks.
So he works for 2 weeks?
2 weeks, Then
And
after next week, he will have the money.
So he
cane
works
payment.
for 2 weeks and then he gets paid. But in total, how many weeks does he work during harvesting?
Sometimes 4 months. 5 months, not much.
Okay. And did he last year, compared to last year, did he have more work last year? Has the amount of time that he works reduced, or is it still the same?
No, it's still the same.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sarita. Mela, you're a member of the Raranimeke Women's Club based in Galoa. We've heard in some of the previous episodes of Radio with Pictures some of the infrastructure problems that you're having, in particular water, I believe. So what are you trying to do as part of the Raranimeke Women's Club to meet some of these priority issues?
Thank you, Sharon. As a mother, my first priority is my family. So I have to look after my family, the welfare of my family, food on the table, and their education. It's not that I don't have a husband, I have one. But mostly I took the challenge in getting everything prepared. Then I have this community I have to go to. I'm the vice president from our community that's in Ngaloa village. Like we face difficulties there is, one, it's hard to get the ladies together, and I have to try a way in communicating with them, because with them, family too is their first priority. And I have to try to communicate with them, like to be a good leader I have to listen. Sometimes I struggle, sometimes we have to sit alone in the shed waiting for women. And apart from that, when the community is going well, sometimes husbands talk back about what we ladies doing. Sometimes they say it's a waste of time. So, but we try to face that kind of comment from the house, from our home. But that's one barrier. So I try hard to cover those kind of things, and I have to go and communicate with the ladies. So we talked, and one thing, mostly women in Ngaloa, we sell in the market, trying to put nice food on the table, have our children dressed properly. So we used to come like every Saturday, catch the bus on 6 o'clock. And then there's leftover produce on the market, so we have to go back home. Like on Saturday, it mostly takes us one whole day. We have to sit in the market. Like sometimes we earn 20 or 30. If we are blessed, then we had $60 or more, according to what we can produce. And during bad weather, the bus is not enough for us. Like there's 50 women, we have all to come to the market and bring our produce. Like when it's raining, we called, like we want to hire the van or the taxi, they all complaining about bad roads, heavy loads. So we have to try bigger vans, and it costs us more.
How much would it cost for a bigger van?
For a bigger van, it costs like $50. But for the bus fare, it costs us only $1.15. So then we have to try getting on together to cover the van, the money for the van. Then we come to the market, trying selling, paying. Then we have to budget for us so that we can have some food on the table for Saturday and Sunday. And another priority, the barrier in our village, is our drinking water. Like I've been married there for 32 years. At first we have no tap. We bath, we drink from the river. And then like 20 years ago, we had the tap. It was, the government helped us. But now the barrier we are finding about the tap, when it's raining and there's flood, and when we open the tap, it's very dirty, and we find debris in the water. So we have to be careful of that if our children get sick, or even myself, if I get sick, so who's going to look after my kids? Who's going to look after our families? So this is one barrier too in the village.
Okay, thank you so much, Mele, for sharing all of that with us. I want to come back to these 50 women, you and the 50 women who try to come to the market at least once a week. Are you growing your own produce? What are you planting, and how much land do you have available for all of what you want to produce?
Thank you, Sharon. Like myself, I come from a very far island. I'm married to my husband is from Ngaloa village, and her mother is from Namoli. So Namoli and Ngaloa, they are related. So that's how we get our piece of land. So myself coming very far away, I'm trying to make use of the small land I get from my family. We used to plant dalo, but this season it's not good for dalo.
Is it because it's too dry?
Yes.
There's not enough rain?
Yes. So we only plant cassava and chilies, woofy like that, bananas, and bangans, chilies like that.
And so when you all come to the market, how much are you trying to earn every week when you sell at the market?
We're trying to earn $60, because for that $60 then we have to put aside, now the children are having the school tickets from school. That is one very big help. But apart from that, we have to put a good lunch for them to school, wear good shoes, wear clean uniform, and then we have to pay electricity. And
so that's your budget?
Yes.
Do you think it would be easier if people came to buy from you, if someone came to, rather than you having to come all the way to the market once a week?
Yes.
How could women be supported to do more planting in your community? As part of the National Development Plan, do you want to see more support for you in your farming, or in addition to the water supply? How can women be supported, women like you be supported?
I'd like to see the government help the women by giving more seeds to plant, and helping us. Like we're getting the help from the government, but it's still not enough. For most of the ladies, they don't have land. That is one main issue too. Like they just use their background, they plant little so that they can help and earn some more money to help in the family.
Okay, thank you so much, Mele. Sarita, coming back to you, in terms of the 5-year development plan, water is a problem for your community. Poor roads, you said you sometimes travel between half an hour to 1 hour just to get to the poultry project. What would you like to see as a development priority for your community in addition to the water and road? Or do you think by fixing water and road things will improve?
Thank you. Yes, about 26 years ago I was living there. before I was in
26 years.
Yes, yeah. The road is very bad because when it's a raining time, it's so far. I've already mentioned that it's very far from main road to my home. When we come for our buy the goods, it's we have to hire the van or the taxis. It is costs about $20-25. When we go in the bus, we have to pay the fare. After that, when we put our goods from the bus, we have to put it on the head, then we carry it. Because bus is the road is very bad because no transport there.
So
no
the
bus service there.
The bus will only come as far as the main road. So the minute you have to turn into the Nalemba road, there's no transport there.
No
is that
transport.
what you're saying?
If you want to transport, you have to hire it and you have to pay.
Okay. Thank you, Sarita. So fix those basics, the road, the water. It'll make things a lot easier. What about jobs for the community? If your husband is only working as a seasonal labourer, what kind of support is needed for those who are seasonal labourers? What kind of employment is needed in the community?
See that we are in a multiracial women's group, so we have to go to work there, collect the eggs, wash it and sell it, so that we have some money there.
So more support those kinds of projects because it's helping a lot
us.
more women come together.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you, Sarita. Reape, what's your ask in terms of the National Development Plan? What would you like to see addressed?
Thank you. About I just want to see about our road, our water.
Water. So water is another priority for you.
My biggest priority in my community is water.
And how many living in your community? How many households would you be talking?
It's 6.
6 households. And right now, where do you get your water from?
It's in just now the water in the tap that we're using it. That the water didn't come today. About 1 week now, the water didn't come.
You've been without water.
Living without water, but now we're just using one small trick. But you know that it's that. But we need the water because everything we can use by water. Without light, that's nothing. We just the water because that is my right.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Reapa. Coming to you, Losena. What's the main development priority you would like to see addressed before the 5 years are up of this National Development Plan?
Thank you, Sharon. My priority in my community is about the road, the bridge. We need to build a good bridge. So when it's time of rainy season, the school student won't attend school because of the flooded. It's go over the bridge so they can attend school on that time. So we need a good bridge. And even when the some sick person at the communities or some woman wants to give birth, we have to call the ambulance. They say that it's busy, so we have to find our own transport. From there to Labasa, it's about 45 kilometers. So when we we charge the vehicle, it's about $60 when we find a vehicle. So.
And do families have that kind of cash? Do families have that kind of cash? If you have to pay $60, you were saying, Mary C, that sometimes it's hard just to put 50 cents for the club kitty. How do families afford for those kinds of expenses if you're about to, if there's a medical emergency or particularly a medical emergency? How do they earn that $60?
Some of them they credit to the shop.
Credit.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's people taking loans for some of those family emergencies. Okay, thank you so much, Losena. Mary C, you're the treasurer of the Nassau Level Women's Club. We've talked quite a bit in terms of the economic insecurities. So What would you like to see in terms of the national development priorities for the next 5 years? How can we make sure that it takes into account those mothers who are not just managing their families, but sometimes their daughters' children as well?
Thank you. To this, for our community, Sharon, it is really hard for us, as I mentioned before, to earn even $20 or $30. Like in 5 years' time, I would like a big change, like to give to the Ministry of Youth, as we have young mothers, to come and have like a free training for them, so that they are not really afraid, and to have some kind of certificate to look for a job in town, because in Savo mostly we have hotel industries, but they're really afraid to go and talk to the hotel people to find job, because they don't have this kind of education level. So I'm asking the government, the local government, if they have any kind of training, so that it can approve or can motivate our young women to work and to earn some kind of living for this community. Thank you.
Tourism is a big income earner for our country, but we do need to support, as you said, the young women and the women working in the industry, so that they can have decent employment in the hotel industry, in the tourism sector. Maybe not just as maids, but what kind of work would you like to see the girls do?
As in our community at Nassau Level Women's Club, we're trying to make a bakery. Like we want them to work, and I would like the training, like food and beverage, or like pastries, for like I heard in FNU or some other tertiary schools, they have this kind of education, this kind of training, so they at least they have something, so that, because the young women, they are really talented. In the village now, they learn how to bake. They don't know how to bake, but now I'm there. I teach them how to bake pie, cakes. They are very nice. And I know they have the opportunity for them to come forward and to learn this kind of training, like in baking. And
so really upskill them. You've got the basic, but upskill them. They can use it as your income generating program, but they can also go and get some work in the hotel, in the industry as well. Thank you so much, Mary C. Caroline, listening to all the programs, coming back to you and the programs that are being produced and broadcast on Fem Talk 89 FM here in Labasa. As you think about the next 5 years, in the next 5 years, your baby is going to be 5 years old. What would you like to see in the National Development Plan, so that it meets your needs, but also the needs of what will be a very young family?
Thank you, Sharon. For a young, broadcaster here in the north, what I need in 5 year times is that what women are facing, and we need improvement on that, on water, especially education. So some of my women here, they are talking about education because they have children for the lunch on the table, and the lunch have taken to the school. So in the ministry or the ministry, they're paying the school fees and the transportation for the school students. So families have to put proper foods on the table, and that is
that's still hard. So even with all that support that they're receiving through the free education, through the subsidized bus fares, there are still costs that families need to meet. Okay, thank you so much for sharing your stories and for sharing your recommendations for the National Development Plan. Caroline, Dongamalo, producer broadcaster of Fem Talk 89 FM here in Labasa. Mere Simara, you're the treasurer of the Nassau Level Women's Club in Savu. Thank you so much. Lucena Naivolo from the Navakuru Women's Club in Dakandrove. Reapi Kasaniwale from the Balebasonga Mandali Club. Sarita Lal from the Nalemba Multiracial Women's Group. And of course, Mere Rokutuimbao from the Raranimeke Women's Club in Galoa Village. It's back to you, Kini.
Thank you, Sharon. And we'll be back the same time next week for another new episode of Radio with Pictures. And don't forget to tune in to Fem Talk 89 FM Suva if you're living in the Nabuwa Nausori corridor, or Fem Talk 89 FM Lambasa on air from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays in Lambasa town.